What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And special guest, we have Chelsea Pierre. She is a professional speaker, as well as the CEO of Blurred's Leading Technology. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Anytime.
Yeah. So if you go way back, 2020, Chelsea was our very first interview. So it's great to have her back on the show, especially kick off season 2 of the show. We've moved over to Heroes Media Group. This is episode 3, I believe. Definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. And then we're going to catch up with Chelsea on Friday. So tune in for that episode to see what's going on in her life and Blurred's leading technology and all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. This article is from the wallstreetjournal.com. It was written by James Rundle, and Catherine Stupp. And it's titled, Google Launches Cybersecurity Certificates for Entry-Level Workers, right? So we've talked about this before, right? This big gap that we have in cybersecurity professionals that are needed. In the article they reference, I think the number was 755,000 jobs open at companies and government bodies from industry associations and the federal government, right? So that's what the shortfall is right now. So Google's like, all right, we're going to do something about this, right? So they have a course that they're offering. It takes less than 6 months, and on average, the course is going to cost $150 to $300, right? Which is really good, right? Like, so some of the boot camps I've taken and things like that, where it's in the thousands of dollars, like this seems like a pretty good deal. But what they're trying to get from this, right, is a lot of this is entry level, right? So I don't want it to be thought that, oh, you're going to have, a PhD in cybersecurity or cyber leadership degree or anything like that. It's nothing like that, right? What it's doing is it's prepping you for some entry-level certificates. So they mentioned Security Plus in here, right? So their intention is for you to get your foot in the door, right, in these entry-level positions. And then in some of these jobs, and we talk about this on the show, and I know, it could be disheartening sometimes when we talk about it, but you'll see these job posts where they're like, hey, we need 5 years experience and we need, a college degree, you know what I mean? We need all these different things. But what they're trying to accomplish here is they're trying to get your foot in the door, get you that basic Security Plus, certification. And then from there, the hope is that the company can maybe expound on that a little bit, right? Now, the company's only going to do so much, right? So you're still going to be responsible on your end to kind of better yourself. But the hope is that, hey, I have the background to be able to catch on quickly with this, right? It's not the same as someone who has no experience. You hire them on, because I've seen this before. You'll have somebody you hire on, and then you say, hey, you got 3 months to get a Security Plus or whatever, certification you want them to get, right? CEH or whatever it may be. It's not like that. Google is trying to get you to get your foot in the door so you can make these things happen yourself, right? So and it's a good thing, right? Like we always talk about putting your money where your mouth is, right? So they've already partnered with different schools, right? So University of Texas, Syracuse, Northern Virginia Community College. So they're getting it out there to where they can make these different things happen. So it in a good way, right? Like this is what we like to see, like help the people out. Don't expect the talent to learn on their own, right? And then be able to come to you. Because again, we've talked about this on the show. We got people coming from different backgrounds, right? You got your lawyers, EMTs, people from the medical field that are like, hey, I want to try cybersecurity or IT now. So helping them out through this is a good way to do it. But Chelsea, what's your thoughts on this?
No, man. My bread and butter right here. Educational piece. At the end of the day, the numbers, you got to understand, the numbers are not that high. As many people are curious, as many people that want to get into cybersecurity, the number of people that's trying to get in or that is in the work field is honestly not that high. And I can honestly tell you why. It's a few factors. One, years ago, everybody either wanted to be a programmer or those who want to be in IT. Everyone wanted to do PC support. Well, I don't want to, I want to help people fix computers. And I just love the interaction with people. They either wanted to do networking or they wanted to be a programmer, right? And so that was, drive around, PC support, I'm a networker, I'm a programmer. And that was like the main, or should I say, software engineer, programmer, software engineer. scripts, right? And so that was like, this is what I want to do. And that was when people thought tech, that's what they thought, right? And so, of course, later on, robotics continued to be cool, which leads more to programming, etc. So it's like, okay, well, I'm already living my dream position. And then it wouldn't be fair if I don't add to this. And then the job market wasn't fair for two reasons. One, it wasn't fair because when cybersecurity said, yo, we need people in cybersecurity, when it became like, hey, we need to hire people, you are right. They wanted X amount of experience. But it's like, well, hey, you know, there's not that many jobs in cyber that is hiring with zero experience. So where I know networking, where I know programming, you're not gonna hire me because I didn't have this X amount of years in cyber. So they said no. Many companies said no. And then outside of the no, there was, inclusion wasn't as inclusive as it is now, right? Hence why we have conferences like Witty, who I spoke with on the panel before. That's women in actually whiskey. That's women in cybersecurity. We have companies like Blacks in Cybersecurity, etc. We have all of these companies, all these nonprofits, because it's not as inclusive as they're trying to make it. So all of these doors were shut. And then all of a sudden, hey, we need more people. We don't care if you don't know anything. We learn the error of my mistakes, right? Come on. It's a good thing. And Google's reaching out. Palo Alto gives out free courses. Like Splunk gives out free courses. And I'm happy that they realize that, like, you can't have elite people if you don't train them to be elite. It's so that is good. But the issue that still has not been answered is that you bring all these people in cyber, but people have a false conception of what cybersecurity is. They're thinking that they're going to be behind these closed walls or in this room with all these TVs and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, there are some data centers that are like that. But people say cybersecurity, and I love to challenge people. Like, okay, what area of cyber that you want to be? And then a light bulb, and like a deer in headlights, like, what do you mean? Well, what do you want to do in cyber? I want to do cyber. All right, that's like me. Well, what do you want to do in networking? I want to network, right? Like, what does that mean? So you can bring all these people, but I think that there should be some type of poll, some type of personality poll, because you can do cyber without interacting with people. You can do cyber with interacting with people. You say, I want to do cyber, and I just want to write down STIGs. Like, what in cybersecurity do you want to do? Because now you're going to hire all these people who thinks that cybersecurity is one thing, where their mindset was set on one thing, and then they get the positions like, oh, this is not what I want to do. And now we transferring, right? Have somebody, because the deeper you get into cyber, you're going to need to know Linux, or you're going to need to know programming. It's like, I didn't sign up for this. I thought I'll just do monitoring. Well, we didn't know. So now you starting off with these courses and programming and stuff like, this is not what I thought. So you need to give a reality. This is cybersecurity. Here's the areas of cybersecurity. So where do you have interest at? Or here is the areas of where you can go, or what do you like to do? Because that's what I do when people say, how you get in? I first try to pique their personality. How are you? Talk to me. What do you find fascinating? And then I try to lead them there. So it's awesome. Give them free certifications, give them training. Thank you for allowing women. Thank you for allowing minorities. We're intelligent too. So thank you for seeing that we're worth this, right? But when you get us all in, you need to probe us. You need to see. You just can't throw somebody who hate math into scripting, because now we need people to do work on these systems on the back end. It doesn't work like that, right? So that's where it comes, and you can't blame these people. Oh, they really don't want to get into cyber because they don't want to learn. No, learning starts off with passion, and you don't know what their passion is. Then you wait. Now you're wasting money, and now you're gonna have less people, right? Because YouTube is big, so now you're gonna have less people in the field because, like, oh, it wasn't hyped up, or the pay in this area of cyber wasn't what I thought it would be. So that's kind of my how I feel, my 2 cents about it, how I feel about it. But yeah, I'm happy. Good job, Google.
That's awesome. So I'm so happy I had you on for this episode because of your passion for it and your knowledge and all that stuff. Now I regret putting you second in this discussion. I'm gonna follow up on that.
You're just
How,
silly.
how do I come back from that? No, I agree with all your points. I think you did a good job of describing it. A lot of people do not know exactly what they want to do. So I do like answering those questions just like you do, right? Like what are you passionate about? Like what do you like? What's your personality type fit before you get into something you don't? Because I'm also I'm not good with math, right? I'm almost math illiterate. I'm just gonna put it out there. I started off as a computer science major. That's not what I finished my degree in. I got to a certain level of math and I was like, you know what about my electives? What did I like? let's let's go that route. And I like true story. I went from computer science major to finishing my undergrad with social psychology, right? Because I had sociology, psychology classes I really enjoyed, and that's what I finished with. Just to pivot anyway because of the Air Force and getting that experience and that discipline to finishing my master's in cybersecurity, right? So that's where I'm currently at. So people make huge pivots. Like we've had people on the show who have gone from flight attendants to now security engineers, right? What are you passionate about? Like what are the hooks that you like in your current job that can help you pivot to your next job? So I am happy to see like Google and other people coming out and trying to provide that training and what have you. But I think they also need to give people a little bit of grace, right? When they get into these programs to be able to pivot, just because like again, if you don't know what cyber is, like because I'm in the GRC side of the house, right? The governance, risk, and compliance, and I it's boring and I love it. But that's not for everybody. Like I came from networking, right? And I enjoy networking as well. I like the boring stuff a little bit more. So you never know quite what people are going to like and what they need to pivot to. So it's good to have people like Chelsea out there, you know, breaking it down for people, like trying to figure out like what do you want to do. It's good that Google offers these entry level. This one does come with a price, right? Like Oracle came out, they did some free stuff. Microsoft for a time they're doing some free stuff. Google's like I think they had some free stuff, and now they want you to have a little bit of skin in the game. But at 150 to 300 is not bad to get into the game, right? Because a lot of these certs are very expensive, especially to maintain them. And I don't think people talk about that enough. Also, like once you get a high level cert, there's a price to keeping it active and alive, right? And that could just be even time is your price, right? Or you need to pivot and do something lateral, or you need to re-up on this current cert. So I think people like it's good to have that visibility so people know. Like it's not to deter you from coming over. We want you to come over. We don't want you to be disappointed, and we want you to have reasonable expectations when you come over to the side of the house. It does pay well, but like any business, there's overhead, whether it be time or money that is associated with being in this field that's ever changing, right? Like they have frameworks being built right now for AI. That's crazy. We're building the plane in flight. It's already out there, and now we have to figure out like how do we keep it from being used for nefarious reasons. So it's pretty crazy out there, but I am glad to see this, and I'm glad to have Chelsea on the show. And I do want to get into more detail of this on the Friday episode. So there's that hook, right? Come back for Friday's episode where Chelsea's going to kind of break down a little bit more of what she does, the company, and all that good stuff. And I will probably also like to do like a reintroduction, right? Since we have moved to Heroes Media Group, we're like, even though this is episode 3 of season 2, we're up to like 349 episodes, I want to say. So it's been a long time since we told people who we are and what we do. And I think that helps with the education, right? Like we all do something different within our field. So that everybody's not doing the same thing. We're not all speaking the same language all the time, but we all holistically, to use Chelsea's terminology from the last episode, bring something to the forefront of cyber because it's humongous, right? Like it's not just one thing. So I think that's awesome. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Definitely go back and listen to Monday's episode where we talked about the current Dallas situation, the ransomware problems that they're currently having. Tuesday, we go into, what do we talk about on Tuesday?
That was the economic downturn.
There you go, economic downturn and how they're trying to not pay or to get rid of these teams and the layoffs when it comes to cybersecurity. Then obviously today we had our discussion, but Friday we go into, again, I want to do like a quick reintroduction, catch up with Chelsea, and then talk about everything non-cyber related. That's where we get to wind down for the week. Hit us up by all of the social medias that go by our name. Hit up Chelsea through all her links that'll be provided in this episode.
you.